for the 3 weeks ago, I was just driving around the outside of it and getting used to it. But today I was definitely cutting across at an angle near the curb, kind of V'ing it. After you go past the curb, you still have to turn a bit while you're braking, but you can carry a lot more speed into the turn if you just cross the track and come right in like this. So that also helps you here when you come off 9, because now when you come off 9, you aren't trying to come around here. So some of the high horsepower cars, when you try to come around to the right and bend around 9, then you'll lose the back end. So you've got to lift a little bit. So if you come in here, you can just come off 9 and let it come away from 9. You can stay right on the throttle and drive, then brake down along the curb here and brake late and come in, pivot the car and go that way. That seems to work best for me today.
Your brake zone, instead of your brake zone being here and kind of like slowly coming in here off throttle, we're both doing the same thing from what John just described. So we're coming in hot, and you always have to turn a little bit, but what you're doing is you're lessening the arc here. If you come out here, there's one arc. If you come inside from mid-track to here, there's less arc. And what I'm doing is, and probably John doing the same thing, but I have a marker for you. It's the turning point for me where I aim as I'm sort of trail braking it in. The last marker is the last full length white. Okay, so that it goes red, white, red, white. There's a half a white one at the end, then there's a full red, then there's a full white. That right at the beginning of that full white is where I'm doing my slowest. I've braked, I'm turning, and as soon as I start to turn, if the car's turning, I'm back to full gas. So and then I'm before the apex, and it'll just come out because it's late enough, but you've made the most of this straightaway, and then you're going to be hard on the gas there. So that's what I'm doing.
Second gear.
I use third in all the Corvettes pretty much. ZL1 I was using second a little bit, but if you were going for a qualifying lap, it'd be second.
Yeah, definitely.
It'd be second. It'd be second. Yeah.
How
doesn't
far
want
past
to
the
go.
curb?
I use
No, right. Yeah, it's
The curb on the right?
the
It's
what?
like the last white section of the curb.
On the right.
Then at the end of that curb, you go right.
On the right.
Yeah.
No, at the last whole white segment. The last full white segment.
The last
That's
whole
what I'm
white.
saying,
The start is connected.
Yeah. That is the turning point. That is the turning point. The last white.
Where do you turn in to aim there? How far past the curbing on the
Well-
right before you rotate the car to go straight toward that white section?
Well, it's not straight. What you're doing is, like John said, it's all a curve.
Yes, sir.
But basically, you've straightened it out as much as you can, and you've got one arc all the way there. So once you turn in, you shouldn't have to turn any more. So you start braking, and you kind of trail it in all the way to that point without any more turning. And then when you get to that point, then you turn down. You understand?
I'm doing that sort of.
But you're not straight. You're not straight.
When you fall off the hill, there's a curving over here on the right, and you're still up on the hill. What is that, 9 or 8 or whatever?
You're way back here.
Right back here?
Right. Where do you, like, because I'm over here on the right side of the track, where do you turn in? Because
Well, you're on the right side over here before you turn in?
Yes, sir.
See, we don't get there. We don't get there. We never get there. We never get there. You don't need to. No, you come out of here, and you're basically taking a straight line down to here. You're sort of saying, going that way, but we're not doing that. We're just cutting straight.
Instead of coming around,
We're just coming straight across.
Instead of coming around 9 out
Yeah.
here, you just come off 9 and just come straight down to this.
there's curving over here.
Yeah.
Where do you guys,
As soon as
y'all go center of the track here?
as you're cresting this hill,
Yeah.
you come off the curb.
straight.
Yeah,
Just
that's
as you
it.
turn
Okay.
into the curb.
That's, I
right
was
as
talking
you-
about 9.
Yeah, right as you're just cresting, there's just an edge to the hill. As you're cresting, you let the car come off the curb.
Yeah,
And at that point,
exactly.
you're kind of heading
That's
straight
kind of
down
at the
here
end
to
of the
this
curving
curb.
though, that's when you do
No,
that.
it's way before the
No, it's way before the end. If you get to the end of the curbing, you're on the right side of the track. Yeah,
I'm running down
exactly.
there toward
Yeah.
exactly what y'all are doing, but
Yes.
I'm turning in way too
And what
much.
John and I are sort of both saying is, if you don't try to do what you're doing, you're going to gain so much more speed because you'll be flat on the gas back here instead of down here. So that's the whole point. Yeah, it makes it much simpler. It's just like you're making it more technical for yourself by doing it. Yeah, that's
The curve on the inside of the tent?
huh?
Inside of
Hitting
the
the curve on the inside.
kind of right on it.
I mean, right on
Kiss
it.
on the edge of
I'm not hitting any of them really today.
just
I mean,
kiss that one,
barely,
because that one-
barely touches.
That one there, you want to be able to get on the throttle hard early, and if you bump that curb, it bumps the car, and you just
Yeah.
can't get on the throttle.
These cubs are pretty
They're pretty
big.
brutal.
Yeah, I
Not very
haven't
many
hit
of them
any
get
of
on.
them because I'm driving you guys' cars. I'm not sure how many I'd hit if I was in a race car either. You know,
I
they-
hit a lot more when I'm driving their cars than I do. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Well, what are the corners, guys?
12.
Are,
Let's talk about 12 then.
What is 12 right here? Let's see, where are we?
it's the one. It's tighter. Tighter
Yeah,
than it
that,
looks. It's
that
blind.
one,
It's blind
that one as
entry.
far as the right-hand part of that, obviously what you want to do is you want to gauge your right hand here so that you can be flat going over 13. So once you go through here and you squeeze on the throttle wide open, you'd like to be wide open all the way through 13. So where you go on this turn depends on the car you're driving. If you're driving like if I'm driving one of the Caymans, you can pretty much use all of that curve, all that turn right out to the curbing. You still can move back a little bit to the left or to the right and still go wide open right over 13. If you're driving one of the fast Corvettes, you can't use all that, so you have to turn and give up some of this coming off here so that you can go wide open and stay wide open all the way past 13. So it really varies a lot depending on the car. If you've got a car that's pushy, you know, you're going to have to give up more of the turn.
The turn in here, you do not have to be all the way to the left. Because the track cuts so far back that way, you're basically making the corner tighter and much longer than it needs to be. So I'm probably 2/3 to the left, and I do a quick stab of brake, rotate, and go fast.
Yeah, I would
basically don't
try not to brake very hard.
Yeah,
Brake a
yeah.
little early.
Yeah,
Brake a little early so you're well stable and in control when
Yeah.
you make that right-hander because
Yeah.
you want to get on the power as early as possible coming out of 12.
Yeah.
So you want to be stable and so if you use the brakes too much here, you're going to
you've killed yourself. Yeah, it's not. Because it's blind. A lot of people are overslowing the corner, and it's quite fast. That is a pretty fast
It's
corner.
a fun turn.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
section right here that's
Yeah.
one of the most fun sections.
Yeah. I'm doing pretty much what John's saying here. I'm coming out using the curve. I'm coming back no more than sometimes half a car width,
Yeah.
and then just going. But I've pretty much, it's not a problem. You don't need to come back to the right, and you can carry a
Yeah.
lot of speed in all the cars here. Just be prepared to just be ready for it when it drops off over here. You will end up on the edge of the track, but don't get just don't start lifting.
Certainly you don't have to go more than
No
halfway out on the track.
way.
With the fastest
Yeah.
cars I drove today, you don't have to be more
No.
than, when you come out of 12,
Yeah.
if you come out to the middle of the track, you're plenty far.
Yeah,
And
I'm
you
not
still
even.
do
I'm
well.
not even doing that much.
Yeah.
But it's straighter than it looks over here, and there's more room out to the right over here than you think. So again, this is not. You think like, oh, I got to make the most of the straightaway. As long as you're flat, whatever you're doing, you need to be flat because remember, guys, this is the beginning of this straightaway. Or if you lift here, then you've lifted on the straightaway. So you really need to give it up here to be able to go through here flat. It's critical because this is all straightaway. Now you get down here. So at any point you have to lift here, I would say modify your line back here, give it up here to make sure that you don't have to lift. All right?
Go up to 15. So wait a minute, before you go to 15, on 13, as you exit 13, right, your track left at the apex, and you're going out, and you got the red and white gators on the right, and then you got that white line before you get to the grass. Are you basically just going straight and not even getting near those gators, just going right after that white line?
Getting out to kind of kissing them, I'd say. When you come out of 13, when you're right here along the side, when you track out, there's some gators there.
Yeah, there's
Just
that
kinda-
entry road. That entry road and the white line on the right.
Do you ever get out to the gators, or you just go down to the white line by the time you fully track out?
I'm tracking out to the gators
I'm
here.
not. I'm not most of the time.
You don't get to
I
the...
miss them, but like I track out after that.
Right,
I'm on the white line.
Like on a white line, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know where the white line is, but I'm
It's
thinking
right past
It's
the
later.
gators.
It's just past the gators. I'm going. Yeah, it's just past right where the gators end the white line.
I
is.
think of the whole thing as one
Yeah,
curve all the way
yeah,
down there.
yeah. So I'm just going to the white line, and then you bring it back a little bit. You just don't want to get on the grass. Some people are dropping half a wheel in the grass there. The grass is like a little brown there. It's gone. I don't think you want to do that. That's probably not a smart thing to do. If you're getting that close to the edge, then you're doing something wrong with your turning back here. So just be careful. You don't want to drop a wheel there. That's for damn sure at the edge of 13 because you're flying.
This is going to get worse and worse.
Huh?
Because it'll get worse.
Well,
and
they could put a
worse.
curb there, maybe. I mean, I'm sure Mitch is aware of all this stuff. There's curbs. There are some curbs that need to be lengthened. There's no doubt about it. I mean, Mitch knows. You probably...
You don't build the track and not have to add
no,
curves.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he's well aware of that. So
This one right here, when you're tracking down along the white line, and then where he's talking about the grass has been hit here, about right before the grass is there, you're starting to bend over, and you want to go a straight line across this curve.
the seam in the middle. I'm using
Yeah.
the seam in the middle.
And
You
then-
guys see a seam in the middle?
Then up
I'm
at the
straddling
table,
that
when
seam
you're
in
kind
there.
of going to the tabletop, you want to be kind of in the middle of the track, kind of pointed straight from here up to here.
So you're not worried about the gator at 14, you just want to be middle of the track, not going down.
Well, I'm kind of coming over close to the curb there.
All right.
Not that you have to apex, but I'm using that for my line to go straight across tabletop, so you're going perfectly straight across it, but you're kind of at an angle, like the track is like this. You're sort of going across like this, because that hilltop, or whatever you call tabletop line, is not straight across the track, it's at an angle. So if you go across it straight, then your car's at an angle to the bump, and you kind of, that's where it doesn't like it very well.
If it's wet, guys, you've got to straighten your wheel over here. Remember that. If it's damp or wet or really cold tires tomorrow, I mean, basically it's kind of a bit of a Nürburgring deal.
Yeah.
Not that I've ever been there, but I mean, it's when we've had tracks, parts of tracks that take off and everything else, you've got to straighten your wheel out. If it was wet, you would have some
You want to be
major action going on.
When you go over that little hump there, you want to be
straighten your wheel.
Straight wheel and everything.
Turn, but when you right by the bump, you just straighten it out, so the car just goes over straight.
Yeah.
It's very important. The middle, for me, is the seam in the track. I'm
That's the
looking
middle
at
of the
that
track.
seam in the track. There's a very clear middle seam, and I just straddle that.
If I am close to this curb, then when I'm going across that bump, I'm at that line that he's talking about. That's kind of the up at the tabletop. You're aiming for that middle of the track line and the seam of the
You
track.
can actually see the roof on flag station 21, if you keep that to your right. As you go up the hill, the flag station just past 15 on the right, boom, it's right in front of you.
Yeah, that works too. That's great. That's
You
good
got
to
a good
know.
reference.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah, I use the seam. I can see the seam, but maybe some parts of there I wouldn't be able to see it. So that's good to know. Thank you. What else, guys?
Turn in on 15.
Are you braking at the bottom, low compression? A lot of people I see brake lights coming on and they're coming down the
I
hill.
think that's a
braking,
scary
going
area
up,
for
braking.
everybody, me included.
This right here, this
Yeah.
part right here,
Yeah.
from about here to here,
Yeah.
figuring out what to do there. That's one of the pucker places on the whole track. That's the one where if there's a button on the seat under your ass, you're trying to grab it.
You come in.
I won't say with what. Trying to grab it.
There's no straight area here. Okay, there's nothing straight. So you need to delete speed somewhere between here and here. You really want to go through here flat. But then if you do, unless you're in a high downforce car,
You're too fast.
you're way too fast here and you can't get a turn because this becomes a vertical corner here. So you're trying to slow down, you're trying to turn in, and it's not going to happen. I mean, something's going to happen, but it's going to be over here. Yeah, the track falls away on the outside. So what I'm doing, I don't know if John's doing the same thing, I give up a little bit going in here, I get back on it a little bit if I can, and ZL1, not way. But you come through here, I'm braking a little bit on the hill, leave it in fourth, but I'm looking for a tuft of grass at the end on the right. So everybody I've seen that I've been following is getting sort of to the left over here. I am not. I mean, I'm carrying massive speed, relatively, it seems like, in any car with any tires. If you go right up against the grass on the right, and then the track drops away, as Mitch just said, the camber drops away. So the more left you get, the worse it is. So if you can stay on top and stay with your right tires right up against that curb, then right here the cars drop away. I get an oversteer situation here, and you're doing a buck or whatever you're doing. So it's a very tricky area. There's no way that's comfortable for me or anybody here if you're going fast. This is all very uncomfortable, very challenging. But that's my reference, is the tuft of grass on the right. If there was a piece of curb there or something, it would be nice.
What happens when you mow the grass?
Mitch, don't cut
Yeah, well,
grass.
exactly. Yeah. You're looking for the edge of that
You're
grass.
hearing it, Mitch. Don't cut the grass.
A piece of curb or something red or something would be great as a reference.
So there you
When I go
How
through
flat,
15,
even flat. not
How
even
far
a curb.
away from the curb? That's all we look at. The curb is right in this area. So how far away?
Oh, it's the first thing you see. It's the first thing you
I
see.
bring my
Yeah, exactly. And that's the best place is staying to the right. If you go, the more left you go, the less
heads up.
The more left you go over there, even 3 or 4 feet, you're gonna just drift off. The car's just gonna let go because these are not aero cars.
So you're gonna be hugging the gator on 16. You wanna come, you want the inside line and then
Way up here.
Oh, way up there.
drift out
That's
to
way up
17.
there. No. Once I get this inside line, it is somewhat of an early apex. So I give up here to make sure I've rotated the car. Even though we're still flying, you've got to rotate the car because you're getting an inside apex, right? So if you don't rotate the car before an inside apex, you're going to be over here. But so you rotate the car, and it'll continue to rotate once you go over the hill because the back end will slide, and then you will end up pushing out. You always push through there if you're going really quick.
So are you using the curb and all?
No,
on the inside?
no,
You're not close,
no,
not you're
no,
close,
no,
but you're not
I'm
there.
No,
You're not
no,
there.
right. I'm
How
not
far
there.
off?
Absolutely
How far
not.
off the curb?
At
Not
least
very-
2 car widths.
Oh wow!
At least.
At the end of it, or
No, I don't even see it.
you never even that close?
I don't
to
even
it?
see it. No, to be honest. I'll have to go look. Don't quote me on that one. I have to go
Yeah, I
look.
don't think, I'm definitely not too car widths off that.
No.
About 3 feet.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wait, at the beginning of it?
Yeah.
No, I do see the beginning of it,
Yeah,
but
at
I
the
don't
begin-
touch it. But I
at
don't
the
touch it.
beginning of it, you're
There
getting
is
close to it,
curve
but,
on
it's,
the
but
inside.
only at the very beginning of the
Yeah,
curve.
yeah,
yeah,
Close
yeah.
to
Then
the
you're
once
bringing
you-
momentum on to
Yeah,
17.
yeah, okay.
Because
I
you should
see the beginning of
wide
it.
open driveway. Yeah, you're kind of apexing at the early part of that curve, and you're not quite to it. Typically, I'm off of it. Occasionally, I'm there. If I went slow up here, then I'm at the curve
I
probably.
haven't touched it. I know I haven't touched it. I'm gonna go look, but I'm certainly not on it. No,
But
I
you're
don't
off.
notice
You're
it.
kind of driving. The very earliest part of it is kind of a good sight point for it to be, but at that point, you're still outside of it a
Tell
little
you
bit.
why I don't know where it is, because when I come over the top of this thing, I'm seeing this curve, and that's where I'm actually looking. I can't look here because I can't see it. I'm looking way up here, and I'm looking at, am I going to push too far out? Do I need to delete speed? That's what I'm saying. So I actually don't think if I see that, it's just peripheral quick, but I'm certainly not using it.
Because you care how much speed, it doesn't matter.
No, right. Okay. Mitch says you certainly don't want to hit it, so I didn't yet.
Can we move to like 18, 19, 20, 21?
Wait,
Is
yeah,
that
hit
just a
17.
give-up car?
You're just
Okay.
jabbing the brake on 17, just to get the nose on there.
Yeah, this is a
Oh,
great
that's a
turn. I love
fast
this
corner.
turn. I love
That's a
this
fast
turn.
corner.
Yeah, you're kind of
I'll downshift 4 to
Braking
3.
downshift.
That's where I do my 4 to 3. Yeah, John, same thing.
Second set of gators up there on the inside. Yeah, they're gonna do a little age on it.
Oh, the second or on the right. It's like a double curve.
Yeah.
I usually am not at the second one.
Yeah, I apex the first one.
I
and don't
apex the
apex
first one, and
second
then
Yeah.
Where that apex marker is not one that I would do.
and I find on
It is
the
how-
the exit here I would like a little more curve.
Yeah,
a little
my
further up the hill
exit-
curve.
yeah.
The apex marker that's there is obviously the safest way around.
Yeah, but typically you miss that second apex. You'll just hit the first apex and,
And
miss
if
the second one.
you're in the middle of the curve on the exit, you've definitely early apexed.
Yeah.
Because as Mitch just said, that curve, my apex puts me at the edge of the track after the end of the end of the curving.
Yeah,
So
right up-
that's a
up here.
and I'm sure
So you kind of need the exit to be extended. a bit
Yeah.
there.
The track out is basically the end of the curve.
yeah,
Rumble strip.
yeah,
Track out is the end of the curve.
yeah.
Up here, I'm coming in and a little bit of a diamond. Like I'll turn in across this way and come up here to the right out close to the white line and
Yeah.
rotate the car.
Yeah.
And if you do it that way, you carry more speed into it. And
Yeah.
then when you get up here, you kind of can just slide the car into
Yeah. Yeah.
into the line, which is
Yeah.
pretty close out to the white line all the way around until you have to turn
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
parallel that.
We're doing that the
exit
same way.
curve
We haven't
as
been
you're
out
going.
together, but he just described exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So you're bringing it in on 18 and then just kind of sliding it out to the white line around that.
Yeah.
Straight line.
Yeah, you just kind of.
It's like a straight line or a slight trail break, but you make the arc as big as you can to get as far around the corner as you can with as much speed as you can. People in the car, it looks like you've almost missed the corner because you're coming in so hot and you're still braking. But then when you get to, like John says, you get to that white line, you rotate, you turn hard. That's your slowest point, and if you do it right, you know where the white line turns to the left. You know when it starts to turn to the left, right? Just back into that next road. That's where I turn down. That's where I turn down harder. Is right there, just after
right
it,
on it.
just
Right on
after
it.
it, and then to go. Yeah.
accelerate down that hill or simply let the car fall down.
No,
flat.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. As soon as you
Flat on the
are
gas.
by the curb, as soon as the car's kind of up. As soon as it reaches the peak,
Yeah.
kind of coming up, and just starts to go down, you can just squeeze.
And then do you
wide
break
open.
then at the bottom of like in 20
Oh
to
yeah.
the left?
Yeah.
Well, depend. Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Up here, I started out today just kind of following this straight and just kind of going around the white line just to find what the line was, and then as I started getting used to it, then I would start cutting across and rotating up here. Instead of rotating over here, you kind of rotate over here, so you carry more speed in.
Yeah, a lot more speed in.
Well, instead of just driving, we were talking about, you're out at the outside of the track here, you're coming like this, and you drive in, and the white line starts here. I don't just come straight to it and then follow the white line around. I'm back here, I'm kind of angling over this way and coming up to the white line over here. So you carry a lot more speed through this part of it. And then you rotate the car and kind of follow the white line
And
around.
by doing that, you make the straight longer. Again, it's a little straight, but you make it longer because you can brake later, and you just make the brake zone part of the corner, that early part of the corner, to just get rid of it as fast as you can.
It's kind of like the carousel road America.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah,
come in there and you just
yeah.
cut
Yeah.
across.
So at 19, are you against the curbing at 19, or are you
On the right?
or with away from it?
No, real close.
Real close.
Real close.
But I'm not close to the end of it.
Right.
I'm not close to the
Yeah,
end
I'm
of
not parallel all the way down the hill, but
No, but I mean, kind of a middle point of the curbing kind of.
Oh, definitely further around than that, I
Okay.
think.
What are you shooting for at the bottom of the sinkhole? The middle of the track? Or where are you at when you come?
well, I know when
I
I do
played
it.
with it today. Go ahead.
Yeah, when I do it, I come from here and I kind of go straight down close to the curb on the left,
Okay.
and then into the hill here and rotate it from about halfway out.
Big black spot in the middle
Yeah,
of the track?
I kind of
You
go
rotate
across
right
that.
over it?
I go across that big black spot that was there.
I'm not doing that. There's a definite difference there. So I'll tell you what I'm doing. They're not better or worse, guys. This will be just different cars, different ways to do it. What I've found is, playing with it today with different cars, if I can get back to the gas, full gas here, come over the hill, if I do it right, the car almost actually takes off. The back end kicks and it takes off. So you come down the hill, I'm going straight for a dead straight line, straight for the curbing.
That's what I do. Too.
Yep, straight line, and then I'll just stay inside all the way. So I hit the brake hard and just turn on the hill, and I stay inside all the way. I don't get off it all the way around. I don't get off it at all. So I don't go to half track. But I saw people doing that, and it didn't look bad. It's just I felt the more I go out, it's just a long mechanical grip corner. I just figured if I can get in as far up the hill as I can carrying speed, and then maintain. And obviously you've got to come off here late anyway, because you've got to late apex this, late apex this, late apex this to get out. Those are 3 late apex turns. And if you don't late apex them, then it just probably feels really ugly. So that's my line there anyway.
John, you were
It's
going on
inside.
the spot? You were
Yeah,
like
pretty
center-
much, yeah.
Center punching it or right
Center.
right front?
Center.
Yeah, I'm just holding
I'd say
inside.
right to the center.
And then when you come around at 21, that interior curbing,
If you
were you on that curbing? Were you at
Towards
that
the end of it, yeah.
Towards the end of it?
Yeah.
You've got to late apex that. You have to be at the end of that curve.
Where
You've
the
got to
curve
be at the
is
end of that,
on
end
the
of this, and
inside
end of
where
that.
his thumb
See, the curb starts in the curve here,
Right.
and then it comes around. So
Yeah.
I want to be parallel.
You've got
to
to
that.
stay in it. You've got to stay all the way
I
to the
wanna
end
be
of the
parallel,
curve.
right.
Otherwise, you're in the wrong place for that
Right,
next
right,
turn.
yeah.
Yeah, if you come off it early, you're going to early apex this, and then you've screwed up this and this, and your straightaway's done.
You
Yeah.
rotate it over the spot. You can just hold the wheel and the curb would come to you.
Yeah.
It come to you. I'm late.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys?
2, 3. 2, 3. Well, 3 is kind of not a turn for me. I apex 2 and I just wide open out of there, and I just let it carry me out to the exit of the track. And around
Neither
that
of us
turn.
apex 3 on the curve at all. 3 doesn't exist. It's really 2 is the slowest part. So your apex 2, as long as you can get to apex 2 and get on the power as early as you can, you're never going to be close to 3. So we don't get close to 3. You just accelerate hard out from 2, and that's it. Yeah.
Is your track out point the white line after the left-hand curbing? Pass through.
exit
Somewhere
3.
out there.
It-
I'm sorry?
Well, it's just, yeah, it's just the edge of the track. It's the edge of the track, but it's, 2 is so slow and it opens out after
I'm
3.
talking about exit 3.
Yeah, you never get there. You never get there. 2 is so slow that as soon as you turn, you basically come out of it. You'll get to the curbing at the end of the curbing, but you're on the gas so hard. Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
you point to where you're talking about?
Well, 2 is
No, I got that. And where's
Right.
the curbing that you're referring to?
well, basically you come out the exit of 2.
No, way past that.
I understand.
Three.
There's nothing else that matters. 3 is you can be anywhere on the track. There's no corner there.
You just
Yeah.
pull the trigger and go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 3 is not even there.
Pull
you
the
know?
trigger off
Yeah.
too and let the car take
Yeah.
you around the outside.
I've never
of the
been
track.
close to the edge of the track coming out of 3 at all. You know, yeah.
Yeah, neither, I don't think that I am, but
Yeah.
there's this red and white curbing on the left. And that's, I'm at least starting at half width from that and then narrowing it down to a third width. I don't even come track left until I'm way down past the white line.
Okay.
There's
Yeah, I think
there's a
that-
white line that, because you have the additional pavement past the curb.
Right.
Well, there's the curb and then there's this white line that extends down to grass.
Okay.
So I'm kind of snooping out to that and then just pulling the trigger. You know, I'm already on the gas, but not like
You should be on the gas exit 2, and then that's it. You're done. Yeah, yeah. You really. I mean,
car
in
does-
any car here, you should just. It's
When I-
really.
When I do that coming off there, and when I pull the trigger and I get on wide open, my car carries me out to the curb, like
Yeah.
right out here.
Yeah.
No, I don't,
To
I'm
the
not talking
outside.
about that when I'm talking about if you're hot coming out of there, where does